How are you this morning? Let me know if you can see everything all right. Right, okay, we're live everywhere now. Good morning. How are you this morning? I hope you're doing really well. The sun is shining here in Dalbeatty. I hope it's shining where you are too. So let's just get straight into it. First things first. For those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson, as the sign says, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I am an artist and an author and a creative retreat owner here in Scotland at the Art Bank, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. So what I'm going to be talking about today is plan, do, review, and become high performing. One of the things that I have found consistently in my time working with creative and neurodivergent people, women in particular, but not exclusively, is that when it comes to organization and planning, there can be a huge block because of the way that our brains are wired and the way that we think. Can you just let me know if you can see this on my group, Creative Genius Corner? If you're watching in Creative Genius Corner, I'm just going to go in my phone and check because I'd hate it to not be streaming. Where is that? There. Let's see if we are live. I don't know whether it is. Oh, why is there always a problem with streaming? I know there's just been an update on Facebook, hasn't there? There's just been an update on Facebook, so it's probably something to do with that. If it doesn't go live in the group, I'll share it when I'm finished. Anyway, forget that. Let's talk about plan, do, review, best laid plans and all that. Yeah, you sort of set yourself up. I'm going live. I'm going to do this live. I'm going to talk to my audience about this week. And it just doesn't stream where you want it to stream. But you know what? This happens sometimes and you've just got to crack on with it. So let's talk about plan, do, review. What is it? This was something that I actually introduced into Summerfield many decades ago, actually. And it was adopted by the company and rolled out as a strategy for store managers. And planning comes in many shapes and forms. And I think the problem with the creative brain is we are resistant to being controlled. We are resistant to having to do things at set times. We're resistant to not being free to create. And a plan makes us feel trapped and not creative. And these feelings are very real for creative thinkers. So therefore, planning can feel like a restraint. So really what I try and do with the people that I work with is make it different, make it a little bit more creative so that you feel like you are part of a process that's going to move you forward and you can understand the why behind it and understand what it's going to do for you and your business. A lot of times, people talk about, you must have a plan, use SMART, use this plan, use my method. And I don't think you should use anybody's method. I think you've got to find a method that works for you. But you do need a thought process and a framework that gets you into the habit of doing some good plans, not just plans for the sake of plans. So let me start there. Planning is pointless if you're doing it for the sake of planning because you think you should. Planning is only good when it actually has a purpose to move your business or your life forward. Today, I'm going to be talking about business because that's what I show up and talk about. So it's only useful if it has a purpose to move your business forward. So I always say this, let's use plan, do, review. These three things: create the plan, do it, go and implement it, review it, see what difference it made, and create your next plan. And this can happen with just one small thing at a time. If you start to adopt a structure to the way that you plan, then plan, do, review makes you actually think more strategically and create better plans going forward. So that's kind of what plan, do, review is. So I'm going to start really simply with that and ask you, if you were to do one thing this week in your business, one single thing that would make you money, okay, one single thing that would make some money for you, I want you to go and do a plan for that. So I'm going to use an example for artists. This can be applied to anything. Okay, it can be applied to anything. So anybody can use this, but I'm an artist. I've got a piece of art. I need some money. I need some sales. Sales are not coming in. Nobody's buying from my Etsy shop. It's really dry out there, but I've got all this work. So I want you to go and take one piece of work and create a plan to sell that one piece. Make it a high ticket item. So let's say you've got a painting that you want to sell for £600. Yeah? Would you like £600 this week? Yeah? Okay, so take that painting and we're going to create a plan to sell that painting, that one thing. Okay? And then we're going to do it and then we're going to review it. And this is what plan, do, review does. Forget all the other stuff like do my social media, do my admin, do this. You're going to have a million jobs every week in your diary or planner. And some of these things need to be done. But you've got to be strategic in your thinking. If you did one thing this week that brought sales into your business and didn't do the other stuff, yet nobody would die, nothing would collapse. So think about that. Plan, do, review. So I've got this painting. It's £600. I want to sell it. I need a strategy. Why do people buy art? People buy art because not of the piece of art, but the story and the meaning behind the art and how they can feel and visualize owning an original piece of art, having that in their homes. Your job then is to create a plan of how you are going to tell that story in a way that emotionally connects with your audience, and to create your social media strategy. So if normally you post once a day or 3 times a week and you've got a piece you want to sell this week and you want to make £600, guess what? The plan starts with, I'm going to post 3 times a day, every single day, morning, noon, and evening, so that I can pick up all the people on my network, and I'm going to do that on all platforms. So your plan is, I'm going to have a strategy for social media. I'm going to reach out to former customers. And this is my plan to sell this one piece and make a £600 sale this week. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT. I'm going to work with ChatGPT and I'm going to create 3 posts a day. And I'm going to tell the story of the painting, its meaning, my process in painting it, my idea, where it came from, what it's painted on, what medium I've used to paint it, how long it took to paint, how long it takes artists to create their work. You are not just paying for a canvas with a picture on it. You're paying for heart and soul. So you're going to tell a whole story around this piece all week, 3 times a day. You're going to reach out to former customers and say, hey, I've got this amazing piece that's now completed and available for sale. You're going to think, okay, what are the barriers to people buying that for £600? Maybe it's the £600, so they can secure it with a £50 deposit and set up a payment plan. Think this is your strategy. This is your plan. If you sat down and created a plan for one thing this week and implemented that plan, and then reviewed it at the end of the week or next Monday, you could then assess, did that plan work for me? If it didn't, let's change the plan. If it worked and you sold it, guess what? You're going to get better at it. You're going to refine that. And next week or whenever, you're going to do that for a higher ticket piece or for a collection. And you're going to start to build an audience that loves your work because you're showing up and talking about the story behind it. So planning something is not just about posting something once and hoping that somebody sees it and buys it. Okay, this is really important when it comes to sales. Planning to sell is everything. Doing it and implementing it is the next everything. And then sitting down and reviewing You know, did you get comments? Did you get interested people? Did you get people, if you didn't sell it, were people interested? What were the barriers to them buying it? How can you overcome them next time you go out with that piece? What are the things you can learn? But if you don't do any of that, guess what? That piece is still sitting in your shed or your storage or your studio, unsold. And this is how you do anything. How you do everything is how you do anything. So imagine that piece of art is a new course that you've created. So you've created a course. What does the course do? Connect emotionally with your audience who needs it and who wants it. Yeah, who wants to do it. Go and reach out. Create a plan around that course. You post 3 times a week. You're now going to post 3 times a day. You're going to go out with a strategy on social media. You're going to reach out to former clients. I've got this great new course, got a payment plan, all of these things. It applies to a piece of art. It applies to a course. It applies to a book. It applies to absolutely anything creative that you do. Plan, do, review. If you want to become a high-performing business owner, don't just listen to what everybody's telling you. I want you to think outside the box. What is it? How do I need to connect with my audience? And you need to become a salesperson. ChatGPT can help you to do that. 100%. ChatGPT can help you to do that. If you're not using it, then learn how to use it. Go and find out about it. Now, I think the upgrade on ChatGPT is like 50 quid for a year. And when you upgrade on ChatGPT to the paid version, you can sit and dictate. You can have a conversation with it. You can sit and dictate what you want, have a conversation with it. Look, I've got this piece of art. I want to sell it this week. I need to create a load of social media posts that are calling people to action. I want to tell a story. So here's the story behind the piece. Here's how long it took me to paint. Here's what I painted it in. Here's the size. Here's the measurements, all of that. Go and have a conversation with ChatGPT. Tell it everything you need to communicate with your customers, and then say to it, I want to really emotionally connect with people at a deep level. And I want all of these posts to really reach people at an emotional level. So I need 3 posts a day for 7 days. ChatGPT, can you create that for me, please? Let it create it, go and read them, see what resonates with you, and go back and say, right, post 1, I quite liked it, but I wouldn't say that. I'd say this. I wouldn't use that terminology. And teach it your voice. Plan. That's part of your plan. Use the tools that can help you to get this done in a productive way. So how do you do that? You sit down and go, right, okay, I want to sell this piece of art. All right, it's Monday. It's Tuesday, but it's Monday. I'm going to spend the whole morning getting this strategy built. The plan is I'm going to put the morning into the strategy to sell this piece of art. You're going to do the work with ChatGPT. You're going to do the graphics for the posts. You're going to get all the posts ready. You're going to schedule them all. You're going to get all of that done. You're going to then go, right, I'm going to reach out to existing customers. I'm going to ChatGPT, write me an email. Write me 3 emails to send out this week about this piece. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You're going to sit down and you're going to create and do the plan. Then you're going to do it and you're going to monitor it through the week and you're going to see what the reactions are. And then you're going to put a slot in your diary for next Monday to sit down and review how you did, even if you don't sell it. Okay. That's what plan, do, review is all about. Now you can scale this. I used to use plan, do, review on a huge scale in supermarkets that were taking, £1 million a week. You can still use that method. Okay, so, and this is what I used to do. Let's have a look at the wage budget and how it's performing. Are we overspent? Are we underspent? What's missing? What do we need to do? I would sit down with my HR department and we would do a plan. Right, this is what we're going to do. We're overspent on wages. How do we bring this in? What do we need to do? Here's the steps we need to take. HR, go and do that. And let's review it in 2 weeks' time. Plan, do, review. So it works if you've got a team as well. So if you're out there and you've got a team, and I would do exactly the same with each departmental manager. fruit and veg department, let's have a look at your sales. How are you doing? Are you performing? Great. You are actually over budget. So how do we actually tap into that and grow the sales even more? What can we learn from the last 3 months sales? What's selling at the moment? What's happening seasonally? So it works with whether it's fruit and veg, whether it's a piece of art, whether it's a course that you're selling, plan, do, review works, but it's about focus. High performing people focus on the things they want to sell. High performing people focus on statistics and performance that they've previously had and learn from it. That's where plan, do, review comes in. And if you want to become a high performing business owner, then get behind your planning and get specific, get strategic, and get into sales mode. 3 S's: specific, strategic, and get your head into sales mode. That is what's going to make the difference in your business. Okay. That was the message I wanted to get out to you today. I have got a one-to-one client here again this week, Rachel, the lovely Rachel. We are working strategically on her business. She's just increased her prices. She's gone and spoke to 2 of her existing customers and told them she's increased her prices. They were absolutely fine. We're scared to do things in our business that will change things. But actually, when you go and take action and go and do the do, most of the time it will work for you. So Rachel is then also, I'm teaching her how to upcycle objects and create beautiful objects and make them so you can use them indoors and outdoors. And she's then going to go and deliver a workshop teaching other people to do that. So she's here this week learning strategic things, strategically looking at prices and business models and budgets, but we're also looking at how do we create more things and more wealth in the things that you want to do at the moment. And that's happening at the same time. We are creative and we can come up with creative ideas all of the time, but you've got to plan, do, review each one to make sure that it's going to work for you and it's not just an idea. Okay, so hopefully that's helped you with your thinking this week. Go out there and plan, do, review. Tell me if you've done it and you've sold something this week, because I'd love to know. And I will see you next week. And next Tuesday, this is definitely worth watching because I have a big announcement for you that I'm not going to give you any clues about. So I'll see you next Tuesday. If you want to know, you need to watch. So have a great week. Tell me what you've sold, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Bye for now.